fans, that's what we're here to see. Thank you so much, Berlin. Best intro ever, Vedius, apart from the one with the dog in my fondest memories.
Close second, though,
very
guys.
close.
Close
You're not
second.
as fluffy as her, I'm afraid, but you were very close second. We are here for G2 versus SK Gaming, fourth game of the day, penultimate game of week 6. And with the playoff race on the line, SK Gaming will be looking at G2 and thinking, maybe, just maybe, we can take a win.
Well, meanwhile, G2 Esports are looking at SK Gaming going, I like snack to end my LEC week. Let's see what they're going to be bringing out today. It was Vitality that were able to pull out the mid lane Tristana before G2, so surely they're going to be very upset about that. What new creative stuff will they have prepared, and what can SK do against the powerhouse of G2? Already jumping into the draft, it looks like very standard bans so far. The Gragas actually going to be taken away from Mikyx. Do they ban away the Yasuo? Or maybe they say, you know what, without the Gragas, the Yasuo is nothing.
Yeah, but then you've still got things like Alistair, Thresh. There's a lot of knockups down towards that bottom side that could still work out for G2. They've got their final ban left with the Sejuani Azir removed already. Yuumi taken off the cards as well. And so on the stronger picks, or some of the picks we've seen a little bit more often, things like the Corki, like the Aatrox, and things as well like the Jarvan taken away here by G2.
So I'd be surprised if they look to first pick the Corki. If the Yasuo is left open, you would imagine that that would be the first pick. Kiana is also blind pickable. Hey, they may even go for the Tristana. We heard Caps talking about it yesterday. You never really know with G2 Esports, but with one thing we do know is that Jankos will not be playing Sejuani, so he's going to be happy about that. Maybe he gets his hands on some exciting junglers. Not going to be Kiana today, though, so will they go for the Yasuo with the Gragas taken off the board? This is the big question for G2 right now.
They've just got so many options still. Things like the Irelia are still available, Akali as well, those solo lane picks so powerful for G2. I'm not going to get called into, baited into deciding what they want right now, but even the Rakan for Mikyx is going to be locked in the end.
Of course, Mikyx is a huge fan of the Rakan, and G2, well, we heard from Perkz yesterday on PGL, he thinks that right now the only strong AD carry is the Xayah, so why not pair it up with the lovers duo Rakan?
You know what else works really well with Rakan?
Yasuo.
There we go. It's come full circle,
I still think it's going to be the Xayah, but you're right, that is a potential option. It looks like that SK Gaming right now thinking about the Olaf. Strong early game jungler, takes it away from the Jankos as well. Something that Selfmade, I think, can have a high impact on. Now the question is, what will they pair it up with? We may see the Xayah taken away from the side of G2 Esports. SK could also just look to grab something like the Nautilus if they want to try and have a good matchup down towards the Xayah Rakan without showcasing too much. They could also consider picking up the Corki right now if they want to take a safe blind mid lane.
Karma, or still though, a very powerful pick in the meta at the moment. Can be support, can be top lane, is where we tend to see it. Can even be flexed towards mid, and you can hear the crowd's disdain towards the Corki. G2, you know,
the crowd is not happy with his coach grabs right now, but it is the strongest mid laner left available. G2, they're trying to take this game seriously. There's the hubbub, the crowd gets excited once again.
Are G2 ever really trying to take a game seriously, Vedius? At the moment, it just seems to be having fun. There's the Yasuo locked in for Perkz, an incredibly powerful pick for him.
Is it Perkz, though?
That's the expectation from what G2 have shown us, but I totally agree with you, Vedius. Could be going towards Caps in the mid lane, but instead, oh baby, we've got a Tristana.
We got the Tristana. We have to assume that the Tristana is in the mid lane for Caps.
Okay, there's a sign in the crowd that says Caps pick Trist. That is the most apt side I have ever seen. Ezreal is the final lock here for SK as they try and continue rounding out this composition.
All right, so it looks like the SK kind of going for comfort on their end. They've got a lot of flexibility. Part of me assumes that the Karma's actually going to go into the mid lane. Crownshot is going to be picking up one of his staple champions in the form of the Ezreal. And so far, pretty safe. They have poke, they have scaling on their side. They have a bit of early pressure depending on what they want to go for with their support and top lane, but they can look to save that top lane pick for the end. Meanwhile, for G2, we still don't know where any of these champions are going, but they're looking for what we assume is jungler and a top lane.
That is the assumption. I think we can be sure that Rakan is going support. That is the only thing here that is obvious on the side of G2. SK Gaming thinking that a jungle pick might be the option for G2 as well, as they remove the Elise and Silas. Nautilus taken away by G2, meaning they think that Karma's going up towards the top side. And we'll see what they decide to lock in as this final ban. We have seen Sacre, if SK are looking for a top laner, play things like the Kennen, the Nico. He likes those on-hit ranged top laners most.
He typically does, but I think that he's going to be holding on to his pick until the very last one. Aatrox being taken off the board, I think it's good from G2 as well. Kind of showcasing that The changes to Aatrox were not necessarily a nerf. If anything, they were a bit of a buff. But in any case, that's going to be taken off the board. Now, SK, I imagine they'll look to lock in their support. With Nautilus not being available, it looks like that they'll go for a very LCK style of bot lane with the Braum. Very defensive, very safe. Does have the potential to set up 4 plays. Braum can be very effective if he goes in for the flash ultimate up against the likes of whatever the bot lane may be. There is a lot of potential. I love how Perkz is now hovering over it and the crowd's like, no, we've had enough now.
We've had our fun
is done.
Okay.
Now get back to seriousness.
Please, G2. That's what they're going to do as they... Oh, no, they're not.
They lock in the... All right. Okay, fans, let's play a bit of a game. I want to hear, do you think that the Annie is in the mid lane? Give me a cheer if you think it's in the mid lane. Okay, not that bought in. Okay. Do you think it's in the jungle? Okay, a lot of people. Do you think it's in the top lane? All right, okay, they're going top lane Annie, right? So that's what the crowd is going for.
With the Lee Sin lock-in, I think it's probably not jungle.
It's probably not jungle.
Here, if I was just to look at this comp right now, I'm saying Tristana, Rakan bot lane, Yasuo top, and Annie mid. If I took nameplates off.
That's fair. That would be a pretty safe prediction. A part of me feels... I don't know. Yeah. You know, I'm not going to guess. I'm just going to wait and see. But I love how animated the crowd is today. It's always good to have an enthusiastic crowd when you're casting a G2 game because they're always bound to be full of action. SK going to round things out with the Poppy. You would imagine that this will be played up towards the top side, so much more expected draft coming out from the side of SK. Very much kind of what they like to go for. I think that the tank top is very good. I think Poppy on this meta is very good. I think against all the mobility on the side of G2 with the likes of Lee Sin, Tristana, Yasuo, Rakan, Poppy is an excellent pick. So I like it. SK will be looking to group up, utilize their poke, and I think that they can scale pretty well, along with actually getting a couple of early leads off the back of this Olaf.
Well, we'll see if they can do that. We'll break down some of these individual matchups a little bit more when we get into game. It looks like it is going to be Wunder taking the Annie up towards the top lane. I have had it confirmed that is the first Annie globally this split. So it's the first time we've seen it played in
Good
summer.
job, crowd. You were able to predict the Annie in the top lane.
Maybe we should give them superior
Maybe
analysts.
we should. I mean, anything's better than you. So we will get to see Caps' Tristana in the mid lane. We're very excited to see this one come out. Yesterday, he says that it has a lot of kill pressure early. And while we didn't get to see many kills from Jizuke earlier on, you do know that Caps loves to go for these kind of plays. We will also get to see Perkz on the Yasuo, but this time around, it's going to be paired up with the Rakan. How will that change the dynamics of this duo?
We'll keep our eyes on it as we get on into game. The crowd very much on G2's side. They're on a 6-game winning spree, looking to make it lucky number 7 here against SK. So I want to give you guys a little bit of insight as we jump on into Summoner's Rift as the level 1 actually starts up. Jankos forced away here. We'll just use the ward jump to get away from the undertow. And I'll give you a little bit of insight onto the caster dynamics we have during that little screen where we don't have to talk. I always look at Vedius and I point at some of the things on the screen. I'm like, Vedi, do you want to look at top lane? Do you want to look at mid lane? And he just looked at me with the most confused face I've ever seen. He's just
what do you want to say?
I have no idea what I want to talk about.
You want to sit there and like, okay, let's break down Annie versus Poppy?
That is exactly what I wanted you to say, Vedius.
I'll be honest, I've never seen this matchup before. I have seen some Annie top lanes in solo queue, and I love the fact that Wunder is running Kleptomancy, because one of the things about Annie is her base range really long. So it's actually really easy for her to harass and kind of pick up these Kleptomancy stacks. Once she hits level 6 as well, she has a lot of defensive tools and gank setup. You'll notice that you need to keep track of those 4 little dots you see underneath her mana bar, because once she's got that fully stacked, she has a stun available to her. I can't believe I'm explaining basic Annie mechanics.
I can give you a cool non-basic Annie mechanic if you want.
Tell me.
So what you do is you stack up 3 procs of your passive, and you throw out a Q and use your shield while the Q's in the air. The Q will then stun, and people get slightly surprised by it.
Ooh.
Support Annie for about 2 weeks once. So
very, very cool.
There we are. We'll see if that happens. If it does, superior analyst once
So,
again.
what has happened though in the laning phase is that SK have swapped Pirean up to the top lane and Sacre down to the mid. And I think this is a smart adaptation because we already talked about the extremely long range on the Annie and how obnoxious it is to deal with. So, Sacre go into Tristana on this Poppy, not necessarily that much easier. However, Poppy can better utilize the W against the likes of a Trist. So these early plays, if Caps tries to go for an all-in play, you can then proc the Steadfast Presence, mitigate that jump, but also you have gank setup as well. So if Caps tries to jump away, you can interrupt it.
And of course on 9-14 they added grounding to that Steadfast Presence, so it makes it a lot harder for you to get away. Into the Rakan it's a good pick, into the Yasuo is a good pick, Lee Sin as well with dashes. This Poppy could end up working wonders for SK. We'll see how effectively they can use it against our reigning LEC champions, as G2 once again have kind of brought up a random assortment of champions in this game.
Yeah, they certainly have, and I feel like level 6 should really be the go button for G2 Esports with this comp. It does feel like it's a little bit all over the place. They do have the ability to split push, but I feel like that their team fighting is still very strong. Skirmishing is, I think, the best environment for them to be in, but I think that what's really important for this comp is that they look for early leads and they try and utilize the fact that they have a very strong early to mid game with the champions that they picked up for themselves. As we see Perkz and Mikyx going for a couple of trades in the early laning phase. And the big thing I wanted to say about this bot lane was with Gragas and Yasuo, you have very clear all-in at about level 4 because you have a lot of burst. Rakan doesn't necessarily have the same amount of burst as a Gragas, so I'm curious as to what windows they'll look to try and force these all-ins. Will they wait for the level 6, or will they try and force these trades once those level 4 marks come in as well?
I think the important thing is as well in that lane, sometimes you talk about going in for the all-in, sometimes you take trades just to force your opponent back, but the Ezreal has teleport, whereas Perkz only has the exhaust, so getting him out of lane isn't as effective as if you were playing up against an AD carry who doesn't have that summoner spell. But early doors, both junglers were looking up towards the top lane. Selfmade went in looking for a counter gank against Jankos, who's just waiting in the bush, and it actually looks like Pirean is going to face check that. Jankos forces him away, and Pirean's able to survive to fight another day. Mikyx caught out just a little bit by Selfmade, but the undertow will not connect, and now Crownshot's coming in from the side. Mikyx should be able to dodge out of this one pretty easily.
So, he did say that Selfmade may look for a couple of ganks bot in the draft, given that he wanted to, he could play around the Braum. Flash QE does have some pretty strong setup, but right now, notice how Jankos has been able to meander his way around the ward. Stun comes through.
And Jankos coming in. Pirean trying to land the root. We'll see if he can get away. Flashes straight away. Jankos on the chase here. Flashes and misses the Q! And he's underneath the tower. He's caught out. Pirean almost turns it around. Jankos with a misplay.
Bit of a misplay there from Jankos. He would have had the execute if he lands the cube, but we don't have time as Selfmade looks for a gank bot.
Perkz and Mikyx have their flashes. Mikyx also just has that grand entrance to jump away, and it's a pretty easy escape for the G2 bot lane.
So Selfmade continuing his pressure towards bot. Meanwhile, Jankos playing heavily around the top side of the map. It feels like that they're trying to leverage the early stuns that Annie has access to. And even though they didn't get a kill, by getting the flash out, it then sets them up nicely for the level 6 mark, where they can look for another play or maybe even a dive. But here's the all-in from Caps.
Ignite onto Sacre, the jump with a chase. Steadfast Presence gonna knock him out. He's knocked into the wall, and Sacre wins it! Caps, you can bring out whatever champion you want. Sacre has your number.
Sacre with the outplay, beautifully played by the top laner of SK. He walks away with a kill onto Caps. No summoner spells on the Tristana. Beautiful stuff from him.
What is it about Caps playing against top laners? We saw him die to Whippo early on in lane. Now we've seen him do it to Sacre. This time he was in mid lane, but Sacre coming down from that.
The great mysteries in life, Medic. It takes 2 mid laners to beat 1 FLICKR. Meanwhile, it takes 1 top laner to beat a Caps. So there we are. Any top teams looking to beat him?
League of Legends maths.
League of Legends maths. So when we get a replay, we can highlight what exactly went wrong there for Caps. But we got to see one of the cool grounding mechanics as we see a dive bomb.
Knock up onto Dreams, Crownshot exhausted, but so is Perkz. Teleport now coming in by SK. Jankos, the Unbreakable, blocks up the Sonic Wave, and G2 have to retreat. They have the Blast Cone. Perkz is going to flash towards it, and they'll get knocked away. SK unable to chase any further.
Good response TP there from Pirean. And the best thing about it is notice how Caps swapped up towards the top lane. And given that Pirean TP to bot, he can now walk up to mid and the swap is successful. But G2 are like, nah. We're done with this. We're going to swap them back and we're going to have Tristana versus Karma, which is exactly what we want initially. So the TP did dissuade the dive coming out from Perkz and Mikyx, which means that SK won't fall behind in the early game. and looks like SK still feeling pretty comfortable. So here we go. You notice that Sacre takes that initial tower shot, and then Caps flashes in Ignite and fully charges the shot, but then this root from the W procs by Sacre, which then sets up for the wall stun, and is able to get the last bit of burst out with the Q. So really well done there by Sacre to walk away with that outplay onto Caps.
Yeah, great stuff. Poppy buffs on 914, helping out Sacre quite a lot. He was a big talking point for this SK lineup when he came in and replaced Olaf. Hasn't had the best of splits so far, but SK also haven't been in the strongest of shapes. Mikyx trying to trade here onto Dreams and Selfmade, but they just want the control ward. Perkz is coming up from the bottom lane, Caps in the mid lanes, catching onto Pirean as Jankos hits the Sonic Wave, and Pirean just can't escape. Jankos, though, underneath the tower. One more shot would be enough. The undertow, Jankos jumps away just in time. Manages to survive. Now Dreams caught off towards the other side, but he can't land the knock-up as Dreams flashes away.
So notice how much easier it is for Caps and Jankos to set that play up when they're not having to deal. That's an Addy. Looks like Carlos wasn't briefed on the draft plan from G2 Grabs.
I don't think anyone's really been briefed on this. We only have 4 top lane Annies in global League of Legends history. Crownshot able to dodge away, but Mikyx is there with a feather in the back, and it's an easy enough kill for the G2 bot lane.
So these kills are starting to rack in with G2 Esports, and it's one of the obnoxious things when playing against G2. Once you give them an inch, they often take a mile, and they're looking to do that already. A lot of summoner spells unavailable, and they're looking to bring the pressure up. But now they've got their eyes on Selfmade. He doesn't have his flash, and he looks like the next target for G2.
Does have the Skirmisher Saber and double longsword. Jankos only sitting on double longsword himself, does have a double buff, and with Sacre coming across, Jankos will realize he really can't take this for too much longer. It would be a 3v1. Caps trying to help out. Mikyx round the corner as well as SK go forward, but Dreams now on a ward. I think G2 will give up the ghost on this one, but I've said that before, and they've somehow managed to find a kill, so can never be too cautious around our top team in the LEC.
So the big thing about that play is even though G2 didn't find anything, they wasted a lot of time for SK because SK were trying to make that transition happen between Pirean and Sacre. We get an opportunity to see this play happening bot. We often see this happen from the side of G2 where teams send their support to roam early on, like around level 4, level 5, and then they look to try and push the wave out, and then they suddenly get collapsed on, and Perkz always ends up finding a kill. Now, while it was Mikyx that ends up securing it, the reality is that this bot lane got ahead when it was simply an overstep from the enemy AD carry, and you don't want to be giving any form of advantages to a Yasuo lane.
Yeah, every minute advantage you give to G2 just snowballs away from you. We see it in their gold numbers as well, Vedius. Usually around the 10-minute mark, they're about 600 gold ahead of their opponents or so. But look at the 20-minute mark. 8 times more, 5,000 gold ahead, gaining so much in that 10-minute period.
All right, so we're about to hit the 10-minute mark, Medic.
And they're about 700 gold ahead.
700, 800 gold ahead, right? So what you're telling me is that
6,700.
6,700 should be the gold advantage.
I'm pretty sure it's 6,400, but I've just picked a random number. So.
Well, okay, 6,400.
We'll go 6,400.
All right, that needs to be the gold advantage if G2 want to maintain that record. But so far, SK have been playing pretty solidly. Yes, once their summoner spells were down, they got attacked by a lot of the G2 members looking to try and punish those like summoner spells, but now they're coming back online. Now they should be able to play a little bit safer, try and look to scale up, and wait to hit those big item mid-game spikes so they can look to try and poke and trade and start grouping up as a team.
The problem always is with waiting against G2, they don't tend to let you wait for too long.
Speaking
they try
of,
and find some catches as Caps onto Pirean in the top lane. Pirean does land the root, the Ignite coming out though, and the flash away from Pirean. Knew that Caps could follow up with the Buster shot, his ultimate still available.
All-in power of Tristana is just so strong early on into the game, and Caps nearly finds himself another kill onto Pirean. You can see how big the difference is in the matchups when he's playing up against the likes of a Poppy versus a Karma. The mages seem to be so heavily punished by the likes of this Trist, where you can't really trade back against these constant autos that are hitting you in the face. Thank you very much, pros in Europe, for introducing this new solo queue menace to the solo lanes.
Heard that it was going around in Korea as well. I think Chovy was someone who was playing it quite a lot. And now with the Cloud Drake secured by G2 at the 11-minute mark, they're 2 kills up and about 1,500 gold ahead. Sacre now here, up on towards Caps, will land the buckler, but the chase is on. Caps gonna get hammer shot, meanwhile in the mid lane, the damage is coming down onto Pirean. He's already fallen, the charm comes out, Ragnarok won't save you now. G2 take 2.
And all of a sudden, G2 find themselves 2 quick kills. The bot lane of G2 found themselves another roam, and it was all set up by Wunder with that big stun from the ultimate. Did burn his flash. Ooh, they might be looking for another play.
Oh, the stun lock is just disgusting. Kicked back, Dreams goes golden, but Mikyx tanking the tower, and Jankos could just wait for him to come back. Might actually fall to this final tower. The shutdown goes over to the Braum. Not the target SK would have wanted, but they'll take anything they can get.
3D play there from Jankos. He should have just given the kill to the full health Wunder, who could have then just tanked the tower and walked away. So that's going to hurt his KDA just a bit. In the meantime, look, we can see Perkz in the bot lane.
Perkz flashing forward, lands the knock-up, doesn't use the ult as he continues to chase Crownshot down here. Crownshot trying to get away, Perkz will tank up a tower shot, and I want to see if Perkz' ult was actually up. I think it was off cooldown during that time.
I believe he used it during the mid lane play.
Yes, he did, so it was on cooldown.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was unavailable there. There, you can see it's on cooldown. So pretty hard commit there from Perkz. I think he believed he had more damage than he actually did. He's only sitting on a Zeal. You're not really that strong as a Yasuo that early on into the game. So Crownshot was just able to get out of that one, wasn't forced to use any summer spells. Caps with the all-in once again.
Going in once again. There's just no escape from Caps. Pirean forced back, has the teleport if he wants to get back into the lane, but here comes the TP in by SK. Olaf coming down from the bottom side of this fight, and Caps might have to use his flash to get away. Pirean still on the chase, the 2-shot barrage won't land. Undertow won't either, and Caps just like, okay, I'll put on my Dark 6 shoes for a moment, I'll jump away. SK are burning that TP really for nothing.
5 members are sent up towards the top side. This will give time for Perkz to base and push out the bot wave, but this indicates that SK are looking to secure a Herald, and this could be a big fight on its way. You can already notice the Perkz making his way from base up towards mid. SK don't want to take the risk right now.
It's just so dangerous to do anything like that against G2 when you have the threat of a Tibbers. Sacre is going to go in on towards Jankos here as the Ragnarok comes out from Selfmade. They're looking for the engage as he flashes in. Jankos going to have to flash away. The Undertow won't be enough, and now Caps can just turn around the damage. First onto Sacre, and then looking for Selfmade if he can get forward. Pirean and Dreams going to join the fight, but SK still unable to find any purchase as G2 just keep repelling their advances.
I liked what SK tried to do. They felt like that they had a numbers advantage and they could just burst Jankos down. And if they kill him, then with the jungler gone, maybe they can get a setup play onto the Rift Herald. Unfortunately, some fancy footwork and some good last-minute flashes from Jankos allow him to get out of that situation. And now G2 have the right set on Crownshot.
Oh, good flash away there from Crownshot. Knew he was dead if Mickey landed the knock-up with the charm combo, and Perkz coming in afterwards. Does mean that the summoner spell is burnt for SK, but they live to continue in the fray here. Perkz just doing what he can in the mid lane, but you have to look at SK now and think, okay, we're 3,000 gold behind at the 15-minute mark. We're losing plates all over the map. What can we do? Do we need to force a play?
Well, I still think that they're looking to scale a little bit more. The problem is they haven't been able to take advantage of this Olaf pick in the early game whatsoever. G2 have been making a lot of swaps happen, and it feels like Jankos has found way more opportunities than Selfmade has. He's just kind of looked to make a lot of plays towards the bot side of the map. Nothing really paid off. Meanwhile, G2 were constantly getting summoner spells. They were trading kills, and even though Caps lost his life, the fact that Sacre was forced to burn his summoner spells as well gave G2 a lot of options to play around. So they've been attacking mid, they've been attacking top, and they even then turn that pressure into bot lane play. And it's one of those things where now they're looking for a play top.
Steadfast Presence comes down, but Jankos just waits it out. Sacre's going to try and flash away. Jankos still on the chase, has the ult, will kick him back, lands the next Sonic Wave, and underneath the tower, Jankos will secure his prey. Mickey may be looking for something around this red buff, instead just backs away.
Caps also finds a solo kill onto Pirean. He's been looking for that for this entire game, and he finally secures it along with another tower. G2 ballooning this gold lead. What do we say? It was a 700 gold lead at 10 minutes. We're now 15 minutes in, and it's already a 5,000 gold lead.
It's absolutely disgusting. We'll see if they can get towards that 6.4 thousand mark that we predicted at the 20-minute mark. If they win the game before that, we'll just pretend we were right, Vedius. That's kind of how it works. Let's have another look at this bot lane play.
So we can see here, Pirean. Selfmade is hanging around. He's looking to flank. He then, oh no. I mean, unfortunately for Pirean, he's like, well, my jungler's here, I should be fine. But then unfortunately for Selfmade, he could do nothing with his Hex Splash. So they end up not punishing him. Caps walks away with a kill. And we're just getting to see the all-in power of this Tristana. Beautiful stuff from Caps. But really, a lot of this early game has been off the back of Jankos. His roams around the map, a lot of the ganks that he's made happen have been extremely successful. He only had one greedy play underneath the tower where he wanted to try and get more kills. But aside from that, I feel like that he's been very influential in just looking for picks, playing around the right lanes, and the most important thing is I feel like we don't see enough players just gank a lane to force a summoner spell, because with the summoner spell gone, you can then make a repeat gank. And this is something that G2 just do a lot of.
Yep.
And Pirean now has his flash up, but I don't know if it's going to be enough against these 3 members of G2.
No tower there to defend him and no life left. Easy enough pickings for G2. That is catching SK out at every moment of this game. 8 kills to 2 up, 16 minutes in. And SK will have to settle with a Cloud Drake on the bottom side, but G2 are looking for a tier 2 in that top lane.
So they already have a 6k gold lead, and we haven't even reached the 20-minute mark yet. Now they're going to use the Rift Tile to keep pushing up towards top. Like, what do you do against this team? The pressure is just unrelenting.
Caps going in with the Blade of the Ruin King here onto Crownshot, looking for the jump away, but Crownshot will use his Arcane Shift. And it's still just a push in the top lane here for G2. They continue with the Rift Herald in. This might just be an inhibitor tower down at the 17-minute mark. G2 going quicker and quicker every week. The hammer shot comes down. Perkz is going to have to flash away from the Fisher. But here comes Wunder. Look at him. He's got the flash engage. Straight in. Straight done. Easy enough for G2. Sacre is trying to run away. But G2 still on the chase. Instead, they'll just go for the inhibitor. Caps trying to win in the 1v1. It takes them both out. SK trades with Caps. But for it, they lose an inhibitor up towards the top side.
Jankos does land the Q onto Sacre, but G2, after taking the inhibitor at 17 minutes and 28 seconds, have decided that's enough for today. We're going to go back to base, spend some of our gold after what was a bit of hard work up towards the top side. 11 kills to 3. They have just been dismantling SK, and SK, they have had a difficult split. They have been struggling, but it just feels like G2 are playing with their food.
It definitely does. It's like watching a wounded animal trying to walk away from a lion. G2 are ferocious and unstoppable, and they are 8,000 gold ahead. If you could cool off just a little bit, guys, you need to lose about 1,600 in the next 2 minutes for us to be correct. That would be great, but I don't see any signs of G2 stopping right now.
It's just one of those things where I think if you're a fan of G2, this is what you want to be seeing, because if you're a top team domestically, you want to prove that there is a very clear gap between you and the rest of the teams. And it's one thing to have a standings gap, but when you look at how they play, they are just so different, so unique, and it feels like that very few teams have been able to challenge them. And they've only gotten better after their loss to Fnatic. So that only builds up more for that rematch, which is coming, I believe, maybe even next week.
I believe so as well. I think it's last game on day 2 next week. I have a little bit of a quick stat, Vedius,
right.
if that's
Hit
okay.
me.
This is a good quick stat though, because it's actually interesting.
Nice.
Okay? Now, if G2 win this game before the 24-minute, 16-second mark, 16 of 50 of the fastest games in the LEC history are by G2. It would be incredible stuff. 16 of 50.
Wow. That's a lot of percentages.
Yeah. Oh, it's all wins. Perkz going to go in here in the mid lane as Jankos tried to look for the knock-up. Going to catch out Dreams as well, but Mikyx very low. The last breath will not connect, and here's Wunder down towards the bottom side. SK trying to fight with this one back. Caps maybe overextended, gets the buster shot only onto Pirean, but look at how low he is. The Glacial Fish comes down, he's frozen in the spot for the moment, but they're still not dead. Mikyx! Oh no! Oh dear! He's done! SK get their 4th kill of the game.
They deserved that because G2 were extremely greedy in that play, trying to dive that tier 2 when all of SK were there. They should have been punished for it, and I'm happy that SK were able to successfully punish them.
Oh.
And then Wunder just gets himself a kill.
That's the power of Annie, though. Instant stun, instant CC, and a lot of damage to boot. Sacre's going to try and jump in here onto Perkz and Jankos, but he's forced away. Wunder coming in from the side as Caps jumps onto Pirean. Goodbye once more, sweet prince. You have not had the best of games, and Caps is proving just how strong this mid lane Tristana can be.
What am I supposed to say about this? G2 is sitting between 2 towers right now, zoning Crownshot away. Wunder sidesteps, Jankos still looking for kills. And they're gonna find it! G2 Esports, 20 minutes in, sitting at 14 kills now. They successfully blew that percentage. What, I think they managed to get a 9,000 gold lead.
It was like 8,500.
Over like 10 times the gold advantage that they had at 10 minutes. They have just ballooned it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is how you snowball games.
This, my friends, is a shellacking. Now, after this game, Splice's Xerxes and Coach Duke will join us for PGO, so be sure to tune in for that. We also have a very special announcement after this game. Not going to say what it is. I may have been on Reddit earlier. Go check my post history. There's some teasers.
Hey guys, I don't want to reveal anything, but I may have revealed something somewhere.
I didn't reveal anything.
All right.
I just teased.
We're teasing.
I'm a teaser.
There's a big, exciting announcement that you're going to want to tune into.
I'm like those delicious Malteser chocolates. Just a tasty morsel of goodness.
Great.
That's what I call you as well.
Is it? Okay.
21 minutes in, G2, 9,000 gold ahead. And SK looking down the barrel of a very loaded gun. G2 just in such a strong position. There is a dragon up for them soon as well if they want to take it, but you have to think they can just start pushing in this bottom and mid lane and close out the game pretty sharpish. I'm sure they'll want to do it before the 24-minute, 16-second mark.
Oh, we'll see if they can do it. Oh, Caps has found his prey once again.
That was good play-by-play, Vedius.
Yeah, that's pretty much all you do.
Yeah.
Just say, hey, this is what happened.
Usually it's a bit louder.
All right.
Do you want to do the next one?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Just giving you the offer.
G2 games when they tried to end tower dive, and I would like not to ruin my voice. Thank you very much.
Okay. So next steps for SK.
There are none, I'm afraid. It's one of those situations where I'd like to give you hope, but there's very little at this point in time. They are 10,000 gold down. It's only 22 minutes in. They would need a massive mistake on the side of G2 and another one to even stand a chance of coming back into this game. And here we are, last-ditch defense. They're going on to Wunder.
Glacier Fisher used Wunder there with Tibbers, pops him down. The knock-up, the chain is just disgusting. G2 take two. It was SK who went in for the engage, but it's Caps who's going to finish it off. Jumping straight onto Selfmade. That's another one down, and Caps is not done yet. Crownshot is in his sights. Jankos almost goes back all the way to the fountain. Mikyx is there to defend him just in time, and Crownshot might look to turn this one around, but once again, it's just G2. Somehow they always survive. Caps, he's done, but he takes out Pirean. A little bit of dessert on the cake that is this game for G2. They're pushing in mid now, and it's only Crownshot left to defend.
The respawn timers are relatively low, so SK should respawn in time before G2 can end it, but they're going on to Crownshot. They shut him down. 4 members of G2 still in the base. They're looking to end.
As Quickshot would say, that was flash, bear, splat there as Crownshot went down. People might be too young for that joke.
They might be, but it's yours now, man.
Quickshot will be at home laughing, I promise you. Now G2 just looking for the Nexus towers. The inhibitor in the bottom lane is available for them if they want it. They still have an 11,000 gold lead, and eventually they say, oh, there are objectives in this game. It's not all about killing your opponents. They'll take down the third inhibitor tower, and shortly after you have the fuel, they'll get the inhibitor as well.
What was the timer, Medic?
24-16.
24-16. They only have 40 seconds left to end this game.
Do you guys think you can do it? I don't know if that's a yes or no.
Like a very convincing.
Flash, bear, splat! Flash, bear, splat! And once again, G2 pick up a quick kill. Pirean's down. SK running back towards their fountain. You'll find no solace there, my friends. G2 looking for that final inhibitor. And then the Nexus towers and a few more kills will be in their sights.
All right, they got 20 seconds left, Medic. Well, now they have 20 seconds left. They're looking for the base, the flashes.
Splashes in and kicks Sacre into his team. Mikyx there with the charm. Caps trying to fight on the bottom side, but Mikyx comes to his rescue, saves him in the moment. Perkz going in, he's tanking up the tower. Selfmade tries to take him out, but he goes golden for the second. And now Caps has finally realized you can attack the Nexus towers as well. The timer has passed. G2 will not hit that record today, and Caps will fall. Now Jankos, the new target, just about survives once again. The last breath goes in, and G2, they just pile into the fight. The second Nexus tower their target, but there's still 2 more kills for them to get, and I'm pretty sure they won't want to leave those on the rip.
Looks like Crownshot is going to do what he can to survive. He gets locked up. They're looking to secure the kill. They take his out before the Nexus drops, and G2, they still haven't ended the game.
Now they do. 7 wins in a row for our top team in the LEC.
Well, that was a game. Oh, what a draft from G2. Very creative play style. Props to Sacre with his outplay on the Caps, but unfortunately that was the only highlight of the game for SK. It was just a massacre from the side of G2. I feel like Jankos played flawlessly in the early game. He burnt a lot of summoners, he returned ganked. Perkz and Mikyx, this time around, I don't think they were able to find a 2 versus 2 kill. They did say on PGL that they were keeping score, and today I don't think they were able to do it, so perhaps their streak has finally been broken.
That is a shame. That is a crying shame.
It depends if they count
do they
that.
count Perkz just getting the solo kill?
Yeah, do they count that? That's the big question.
Oh no, it was a 2v1 technically. Because it was Perkz and Mikyx killed Crownshot when he overextended.
That's a good point. I don't think it should count, personally.
Good thing you don't make the rules for this.
Yes.
I think they make their own rules at this point,
Seems like it. But just goes to show that G2 still coming up with the creative drafts. People sitting there saying that scaling is the meta, Azir Corki. G2 saying, nope, we're going to ban those, and we're going to keep playing the way that we love to play, which is fast pace, high aggression, high snowball League of Legends. Yep. And again, like, it's one of those things where The 0 to 10 minute mark is not where G2 has their strongest point. It's that 10 to 20 minute mark. We already talked about how they balloon their gold lead on average by 7 times. In this game, they ballooned it by like 11, 12. And it's just
disgusting.
It's so impressive what they do with such a small lead. G2 looking exceptionally strong. They end week 6 with another 2-0. Only a single loss so far this split.
Just incredible performance by them all around. We're going to have another look at some of the highlights from Wunder's pro view. It's the first professional win from an Annie top lane, so G2 have broken another record. Did, of course, play mid for a short portion of the match.
Yeah. We get to see a compilation of the FlashBear Splat as you
I'm so proud of that.
It's really good, mate. Really good. You could like put it on a t-shirt, I think. And this was probably the most impressive one, I think, because it helped secure this top inhibitor. And it just felt like that SK didn't know how to respond. They never had an opportunity to scale up. They never had an opportunity to get the combo line. It was just fight after fight after fight that G2 were constantly coming out on top of. Exquisite stuff from them. The setup plays from Wunder, excellent stuff. Great game all around.
Yeah, it really was. Of course, not for SK, who were on the losing side of this demolition, but they would have looked at this game and said, we don't expect to win it, right? They'll be looking to next week. It would have been a very big bonus too, but currently sitting at 3-9, they will have to find their way.
Tied with XL.
They're tied with XL, and they're on, you know, a 7-game losing streak now. They will want to find a little bit of that spark. I don't think we really saw it in this game, but maybe give them a week, they can come back fighting, because it's a long road left for them to climb.
Yes, but it just goes to show that the bottom of the standings right now heating up a lot.
True.
The teams like XL, I think, haven't played the likes of G2 yet, so they want to try and get those wins in as early as possible. But to expect to win against G2 is always going to be a challenge, always going to be an uphill battle. But I feel like we never really got to see anything from SK in this game, right? This is one of those games where you review it and you're like, what am I supposed to say?
They're just better on the day, right? It's just a better team. If you guys want to vote for one of the players from the better team, it's Kia Player of the Game at LOL Esports on Twitter. Wunder, Jankos, and Caps are your options. Whew. Jankos was really good in the early game. Wunder played Annie and got the first ever professional top lane Annie win.
Don't give it to Caps.
Tristana, yeah, he kind of hard-inted at the start. He was very good later on.
He died 4 times. I just want to. So G2 had 6 stats. 4 of them were from Caps. Don't give it to him.
Apparently he had 4 solo skills as well.
I don't care.
Okay, cool. Well, you know something we do care about is a very big announcement here in the LEC. We're going to be joined by a very special guest next week.
Hello LEC fans, Papa Smithy here, walking off my last LCK cast of the week here at Lowell Park. I've got something special to share with you because actually the next time I'm on a broadcast, I'll be jumping over to Berlin to cast the LEC in week number 7. Super hyped to finally deliver on something I talked about oh so many months ago. So I'm ready to get in there, mess up with some Vedi, have some fun with FLICKR, and just put on a great show. So super excited to be at LEC for week number 7 of the LEC.
But here's the all-in from Caps.
Ignite onto Sacre, the jump with a chase. Steadfast Presence going to knock him out. He's locked into the wall, and Sacre wins it! Gonna get hammer shot, meanwhile in the mid lane, the damage is coming down onto Pirean. He's already fallen. The charm comes out. Ragnarok won't save you now. G2 take 2.
G2 is sitting between 2 towers right now. Zoning Crownshot away. Wunder sidesteps. Jankos still looking for kills. And they're gonna find it!
Do you guys think you can do it? I don't know if that's a yes or no.
Like a very convincing.
Flash Bear Splat! Flash Bear Splat!
They still haven't ended the game!
Now they do! 7 wins in a row for our top team in the LEC.
Ready for the finals?
Experience the LEC Finals in Athens with Shell V-Power.